Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I've just logged in this morning and Champion Training Tournament has popped up for a new Midsummer Festival celebration thing going on. We've got another awesome chance for you to earn exciting rewards. From Thursday, i.e. tomorrow, through to Monday, we're launching a Champion Training Tournament where you're able to get your hands on powerful Ogrin Tribes dudes and dudesses, I guess. All you need to do is develop your champions in any of the following ways. They've actually got skill tomes in here, which makes it quite scary as a comp, honestly, especially for getting sniped. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But these type of things can be harrowing, I would say. Champion training tournaments, I mean, it's cool. If you win, you get yourself some great rewards in terms of the champs up for grabs here. I'll talk about them in a minute, but they're top tier. Certainly the epics are really strong. For progression in accounts. So yeah, damn. But I've been involved in a few of these. There was one I did going back a while now. I don't even know how long ago. Maybe it's 2 years ago. I don't know. But I was pushing for Krisk, and I've still never pulled Krisk through a shard, by the way. I was all in for this, and I was up against someone else who was all in for this and had resources like I had. Yeah, probably more so, honestly. And I mean, I'll link down below just something about it. You should go and check out the hunting for Krisk videos if you've not seen them, because you see me go from day one where it's like, okay, I'm up for this, through to like day 5 where eventually I did like a stream where I didn't sleep. And I think I did maybe a 18-hour stream or something where I was just straight grinding champion training. And eventually I got Krisk, but it was brutal. Like, I was playing Raid Shadow Legends non-stop. So, and that did not include the use of skill tomes and stuff like that, which can just kind of like punch points really quick. So, yeah, this is scarier, honestly, than it was even back then. So, yeah, you've got to finish first in your group, which makes it a tough one because you don't know who you're up against. It's so random who you're going to be up against for this type of thing. But, yeah, damn. Okay, so it says here, earn a minimum amount of points before you're even allowed the champion. And it depends on your level. So if you're a low level person, basically a new player, because level 1 to 30 get done really quick. I'd say, I think it's like a couple of weeks. That's going to be 5,000 points, very achievable. But it doesn't mean you get them at 5,000 points. It means you unlock the chance to get them at 5,000 points, and then you have to win your group. Normally, these are 100 people in a group. So it depends on the resources you've got available, depends on whether you'd rather save for a fusion, depends on how active you can be during this time. And then also depends on like tactics, honestly. It sounds crazy because it's just using stuff, but tactics do come into this. You've got Maneater for level 31 to 50, and that's going to be a minimum points of 10k. That starts to get quite chunky. But Maneater, so if you are level 31 to 50, I mean, Maneater is one of the champs that can really unlock clan boss for you. So it's a great choice of a champ, honestly, for a reward at this point. And then you've got Death Bell here at 15,000 points for anyone who's kind of like a later game player. I think anyone who's level 31 to 50 has probably been playing 2 to 3 months maybe. And then 51 plus, probably like at least a 3-month plus type of player. So let's have a look at these champs and let's just talk through what's going on. Also got the Ice Golem tournament running through right now. I guess in this video I'll talk about Ice Golem champs that you could use as well for that if you're not using it yet. But let's talk about these 3. So Uugo first as the low level player champ. Up top here. Really, really good champ that will take you right through to endgame, honestly. Really good. Especially good for Hydra. Hydra's a best spot by quite some way. But AoE decreased defense and block buffs. So in any wave-based content, you're dropping their defense, making them easy to kill. You're also stopping them from buffing up. That includes Arena, it includes like waves of Doom Tower, Faction Wars, it includes Hydra specifically because block buffs is so impactful. And it's just a really good ability. Books down to a 3-turn cooldown, really strong. She's got a leech on her A1 with a decent chance to land it as well. The chance goes up as well depending on how many enemies are alive. So starts as a 35%, but generally in most content it's like 55%. And in some it's even more. And then her A3 is a cleanse, so remove heal reduction from allies, but also removes a random debuff. So let's say in Hydra, you're against the head of Torment. This can help just kind of like cleanse off a round of those fears while you're trying to get that head dead. Also gives you a nice heal. So the heal alone can be really like game changing in Hydra, especially when you get it booked out. Books to a 4-turn. You've got this other part to it though. So if allies are dead, and it has to be all allies, you do a revive with good HP and turn meter. This is not the best part of this ability. I mean, it is if she's the only one alive, but certainly if I think Hydra, which is where she's best, this ability is a bit hit and miss, because she has to be the last person alive, and by that point, are you getting close to just being eaten super fast? Like, sometimes it comes in clutch, don't get me wrong, but the best place for this to be used is the arena when it pairs with this. So if she's the last one alive, she gets to revive everyone, and basically she gets an increased speed buff and block damage buff whenever this champion's the last living ally. Okay, so whenever this is the last champion left alive. So if she's in the back of your turn order for your team and a big AoE smack comes in for arena, she can actually get the block damage up and then get her revive off, and then hopefully the enemy team has wasted all their abilities and you get a go. You get to a chance to come back to the fight. So Uugo is a really good early champ to be in the mix. Maneater then is super good as well. Like, until some of the recent comps turned up, Maneater was the champion to unlock unkillable teams in Clan Boss. If you got Maneater plus 1 Painkeeper, you can do a budget Clan Boss team, and you basically become fully unkillable. I've done probably 15 videos of this over the years of what this team does. If you got 2 Maneaters, you get a super easy unkillable team, which is totally affinity friendly. And then Maneater, when it combos with someone else like a Demither, or I don't know, like someone who's got the block damage, like a tower. There's a whole bunch of different things. You should check out Deadwood's website if you're kind of unsure what is available, or go on the optimizer and just check out the team part of the optimizer for Clan Boss, and you'll see a whole bunch of Maneater comps popping out depending on what champions you own. In fact, I could show you very, very quick on that, how that works quickly, especially as we've got the free regearing going on right now. So we've turned on free premium optimizer for everyone, like we always do. So you can go to the team optimizer part. This is probably the best tool we ever added into the optimizer, honestly. Pick your Clan Boss, pick whatever you want, but pick Clan Boss, pick Ultra Nightmare, hit Find Team, and it's going to come back to you with the best teams that you could produce by damage. So you can then go into Team Must Include, and then I can just type Maneater. There he is. Hit Apply Filter. And what it'll do is it will reduce down the number of teams, and it will just show you teams now that have got Maneater in the mix. And you could also say, let's say you've got one of your champs that you don't want involved. Let's say Razelvard, you're using him for something else. You can just say, hold on a minute. Make sure you exclude Razelvard. Apply Filter. And now it will slim down the teams again just to have Maneater teams available. So this is, and then it will always top it off by damage. You can also look at the number of battles it's been run just to make sure that it's a consistent team and all that sort of stuff. And with the free premium that we just turned on for today, you can go into View Team. So this is what you get anyway for free. We do this for everybody all the time for free. But you can hit View Team, and it will give you a full breakdown of how that team is currently built from the person you're seeing it from, including all their stats, all their speeds, all their masteries. And you can also hit Show All and see exactly how they've set up the AI for that team. So the tool is super good. Anyway, Maneater becomes one of the best unkillable Clan Boss champs, but mainly because of this A3. So it books to a 5-turn cooldown. He puts unkillable on your whole team, but also, and this is so important, he puts block debuffs on your whole team. That's how you go affinity friendly, because block debuff stops the stuns, it stops the decreased speeds and all that type of stuff. So this makes it really good. He's also, by the way, just really good for any content. So don't underestimate how good Maneater is in just any content, because debuffs are annoying, dying is not good. And then his A2 has also got this kind of like turn meter depletion, which is great for a number of bosses as well. He's got decreased attack. He's one of the few champs in the game that has got an AoE, all enemies decrease attack, for a really easy specific thing. So he places it just if he does a crit. It's not like, oh, 50% chance to place or whatever. It places it on the whole enemy team if he does a crit on that first hit. It's one of the best decrease attacks in the game, by the way, because of this. He's void as well, no affinity issues. People overlook his A1 and his A2 because his A3 is so good. But Maneater's actually like top tier epic. So let's look at the legendary that's up for grabs then. I do own him. I'll be honest, I do own him and I don't use him. I don't use him on my account. So my account's stacked. So, you know, make of that what you will. He's a good champ, but he's not like crazy game changer in the end game. If you pick him up, you know, and you've only been playing for a few months, I think he is a game changer. So we've got a heal on his A1. We've got an AoE hit, books to a 3-turn, books to 100% chance to fill turn meters of all allies by 30%. So that's really solid. Big hit, HP base, so he can stay alive, get a nice turn meter fill. Also has a chance, it books to 100% of removing all debuffs from all allies. So this guy really is a clan boss champion, but he's not as easy to use as like a Maneater, for example. Because you get a turn meter fill, you get a full cleanse. He's also pretty good for Hydra, I guess. But the reason why I say clan boss is because ally protection is the strongest in clan boss by quite some way. Pair that with strengthen, ally protection plus strengthen, plus fill in your turn meter. He's quite hard to speed tune just because of this. Not hard, you just need to know the right speeds, but he's really good. Ally protect, strengthen, 2 good buffs. He's then got a passive, increases his resistance by 20 and defense by 10% for each ally protection on allies. So obviously you're going to have 4 out there, which means you're going to get 40% more defense. Also increases resistance and defense by 5% for each ally protection on... Oh, sorry, increases the ally resistance and defense by 5% for each ally protection on allies. So you get an extra 20% defense for your whole team as well when ally protection is out there. Counterattacks whenever an ally under ally protection is attacked. So you can get some quite interesting stuff going on here where you set your ally protection up, someone gets hit with the clan boss hit, the damage is done, therefore this kicks in and you get a counter attack, and you actually get your heal before the damage applies to Korugar, which is the way the game codes damage. So quite an interesting setup here. But as I say, the trouble here is he's great for clan boss, he's great for enabling these type of teams where ally protection comes in. But there's so many more simple ways to do high levels of damage to clan boss now. You know, wicks well, unkillable teams, block damage teams, that champions like Korugar take a bit of a back seat, which for me means that he's unlikely to be massively contested. That does mean though, like for example, I'm not going to go for this guy, and there'll be a ton of endgame players, unless they're just trying to complete sets of champs in this kind of like gotcha mechanic, they probably won't go for him, which does open up the opportunity for more chance to get him. That's all I would say, but it's still unlikely. You know, you've still got, out of your group, you've got to be the one person that's really engaged in getting him. So let's talk about tactics quickly. How can you make it happen if already selling the packs here, which have got some cheeky books in them? I don't know if that's on purpose or not. But yeah, how do you get quick points if you're doing this stuff? And I would say you need a burst of points. So what you need is you need champions that are leveled to max level, that are kind of like level 40 and 50. I don't even know if I got many, because I did a big push the last time there was one on to get a champion that I actually wanted. So it looks like I've got tons of stuff here, right? But actually I don't. So if you look, I don't have any 4-stars leveled up to 40 to then feed these 4-star chickens into. That's what you need. The other thing you need is a lot of 4-stars or 5-stars at level 1 that you can just pump levels into in the tavern. So you can see here, my stock of, like if I wanted to compete, I am sorely underprepared for being able to complete. Here, I might have some more in here to be fair. But again, you need food ready to be able to compete with this stuff if you come up against someone who is ready. So you can see here again, I've got like 1 level 40, and then I've got a few people that I could just instantly put brews into, but not a lot in comparison to what most people will have that have been saving and prepping for this type of thing. So that's how you get points. You go into the tavern and you upgrade the rank of someone that you've got prepped, And you either do it with chickens that you've saved, or you do it with 4-star chickens. And let's be fair, 4-star chickens will be less frequent right now because of epic empowerment. It used to be, that's why I don't have +4s everywhere. I used to feed my epics as a late game player because I had them already. Nowadays, we're not feeding epics, we're empowering epics, which means there's just less food around. You're probably like, oh, this is Kraken talk. It is, or at least whale talk, but it's the fact. People have got less resources than they would have had for this type of thing. So it will be interesting to see like how it plays out, honestly. But generally, what you would do is you'd either feed the epics that you've kind of like put levels into that you don't need, or the rares that you built up, you put levels into that you don't need for this, or you use chickens, whatever, you take him to the next level. And then if this is a food champion, I'm just putting some levels into this champ. And I've done whole videos on this, like get 4 times the XP type of video. But all of that, level 26 there is a 5-star. Even if it's food, will give you a ton of burst points. So you need to make a decision, right? Am I going to burst early and try and decimate my group and therefore, I guess, try and get people disinterested in the fight? Or am I just going to save points and burst late and fly past my opponent in the last seconds? So leveling like this is one way to burst. Another way is just to, it'd be even quicker now with the new kind of UI stuff, but it would just be like max skills really quick. So quick now with the new UI stuff. And, you know, plenty of people will be sitting on a ton of books, especially epic books, because, you know, plenty of people have had the epics for a long time. They booked the ones they wanted to. You get a lot of epic books just playing the game. So be aware that people can burst 10, 20, 30,000 points in no time. Like, it's really possible in no time in the game. But it's harder, I will say, it's harder today than it was the last time we had one of these events. So because of the changes that Raid have made to empowerment and stuff. But that's what you're going to be up against. What I would say is don't end up getting into a fight like I did in Krisk, where I just went day to day, head to head, and we both just burned tons of resources. Tons. I either should have gone early or I should have waited and went late. Because when someone's got this big lead, they don't push anymore. They just hold. So all the time you're both pushing, neck and neck in this fight, everyone, you're pushing day after day. It's brutal, honestly. That environment is brutal. So I would just recommend you don't get into that type of fight. That would be crazy. Okay, then lastly, let's have a quick look at Ice Golem. So I've not started my Ice Golem push, but it's worth doing, honestly. There is I know there's a couple of videos out from good creators already. I saw Tyraku has got one out with some solo champs. I've not looked at the video, but I know that he does good content. I know that Nubs did a good video yesterday as well. So they're two that's worth checking out if you want to go deep dive. But I'm just going to kind of like skim the top here. Epic only Ice Golem. The reward is 30 prism shards, which is 1 pull from the event. I'm going to be doing this because the pool is good. People were slating me the other day. HH, you said Firrell is decent. He's better than than Duchess. I mean, yeah, okay. There's like 900 champs in the game now. They've released 10 champs a month. My brain can't keep it all. But yeah, you're right. Firrell's actually incredibly good for Hydra. So if you do get him, he's not just decent, he's very, very strong. But the pool here is very good. So it's worth going for this Ice Golem push if you've got a team that could be half decent. Some champions I would call out for epic work, I guess. Ice Golem's a tricky one, right? So you've got to deal with the waves, obviously. You've then got to deal with the boss, and you've got to deal with the side ads. So the best ability you can land against the boss is decrease attack, because that will stop his retribution hit being so hard. The 2 side ads are basically responsible for how much of your defense the boss will ignore. You've got 2 ads up, he's going to ignore 100% of your defense. Defense is irrelevant to you, okay? If he's got 1 side ad up, he's going to ignore 50% of your defense. It's still a massive chunk. So you kind of need to get those side ads down, because then he won't ignore any of your defense. You could use an epic who is full of chest hair and is actually very strong. With his block revive ability, he will take down the side ads and stop them coming back. That will speed up your run. You could also choose to go for, and I would say if you're going to use him, you want a rounded team. So someone like a Stag Knight or a Deet who's going to do your drop defense for the waves. You're going to want Phoenix built to do damage and come in and kill the side ads. And then you're going to want someone who's going to help you kill the waves of enemies. That could be someone like a Dark Kale. Anyone who's really got a decent nuke on them. Dark Kale is coming to mind because you also want poison damage for the boss, ideally. Poison ticks do not trigger that retribution hits. So a well-balanced team is advisable, but you could also just go for solo comps. Probably the best solo champ that you could have for this would be Venomage. Venomage built in regen gear would be able to solo stage 20 pretty comfortably. And her poisons will stop the boss doing the retribution hit. It'll stop the boss doing the hit that resummons the ads. That's the main thing. So Venomage will help you with that, because once the ads are down, poisons will then just do all of the damage. So she's actually really strong for that. In the same way as what she's doing there, you could use someone like Uradrim doing the same type of job. But basically what you want is somebody who puts out a lot of poisons and gets the job done. Another cool thing you can do is build really squishy damage dealers, kill the waves super fast, let the boss kill them, and then have a tanky poisoner that just then poisons the boss to death. So you kind of using, like a Seer, for example, a Seer to clean out the waves of enemies really fast with, do you have a reset you could use in epics only? Maybe not. Who would be an epic only reset? I don't know if there is one, actually. I don't think there is one. So maybe it's like Seer one wave, damage dealers for the next wave. They all die with the first hit from the boss. And then someone like a Uradrim or Venomage just poisons the boss to death. Or someone like a Brawler, honestly. Brawler could poison the boss to death as well. But he's a little bit more erratic. But yeah, I think for Ice Golem, it's definitely worth picking out a team that's going to work for you and getting it done. You can also, by the way, utilize the optimizer for this as well. So you could come into Team Optimizer, go into Ice Golem. I would recommend stage 20 just because it is stage 20 normal, because it's easier to beat, it's fast, and it's the most efficient in terms of getting those points. And you could go into find a team here and just say epic only. See this little tick? Apply filter. And then basically it's going to start off by just giving you the fastest team. You could also say, I want a better success rate. So I could be like, no, I want 100% success rate for this team. And then you could see, oh, Nia is the reset champion for epics. There you go. I love it. I love the optimizer. It's just like, so helpful. But yeah, this is a good example of how you can utilize the optimizer to just help you find teams for you based on, teams that are actually out there working. This is 100% success rate with this specific team that someone is running in game. And then if I go into variations, view team, I can look at exactly how they've built the team. So if it's 100% for them, it should be 100% for you. Doesn't necessarily mean that you can hit their gear requirements. So it might be that you need to go through a few, but I would definitely recommend using it for this type of event to find a team that's going to work for you. Vodorf would actually be a really good tank as well to keep your team alive for the damage portion of this fight. But Dark Kale, really good call out. Venomage, really good solo. So I could say must include Venomage, for example. And I bet if we scroll down, we start to see teams which basically nuke her to deal with waves, and then 2 champions that are killing the boss. If we scroll down even further, eventually we'll find Venomage basically going solo. So yeah, anyway, hopefully that's helpful. And yeah, let me know what you think of this event. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades rambling on. I'll see you later.